Alright guys, so the mini split is now installed. So some things that I noticed right away when putting this thing in is that it needed some bracing across from bracket to bracket. So what I did was I went to the local hardware store and I got some 3/8 16 stainless steel threaded rod, and from there I decided I wanted to sleeve it because steel tube is stronger. So what I did was I bought some 1/2 inch by 36 inch steel round tube that I was going to use, and I put that together and then cut it to length, which ended up being about 21.5 inches, which is the distance that I have between both beams. And then I just put a nut on it and a washer. You can see there. I ended up using the step drill bits, which I can show you guys. So just at the hardware store, I picked up one of these nice stepped drill bits, put it into my DeWalt drill bit, and we wallowed these holes out to 1/2 inch. So now it has adequate support, just in case these right here, which come with the Pioneer mini split brackets, in case these shear. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to end up taking these out and replacing it with another one of these. Then I'm probably going to end up doing the same thing across this way. You can see there is a little bit of gap behind the unit itself. And so what I'm doing now is I am actually making a bracket that will go from the top bolt and wrap around the front of the unit. It's going to go under this cage right here, and then it will wrap around this side and attach to that top bolt right up there. That's going to keep the unit from tipping forward. And then once I'm done with that, whichever remaining metal I have left, I'm going to make a bracket that goes from the back of the unit to the bus, just in case there is any rocking backwards as well. So I want to make sure that we take care of that. So let me take you over to where I am working on the metal piece right now. So what I did was while I picked up the hardware at the hardware store, I picked up a piece of 1.5 inch, 1/8 inch thick flat bar that I am now bending to make my bracket. So we're gonna go ahead and start working this metal and making sure it will go all the way around in a square so that we can properly attach the mini split so it does not fall off the back down the road. Hey guys, so here we are with the mini split. I actually added some bracing to this today. I took an 1.25 inch piece of flat steel and took about an hour bending it properly all the way around. I removed the grate while I did it, ran it under the grate because it's thin enough, and then I actually took out the top 2 bolts on the mounts. You can actually see that they're a little longer. They're about 4 inches versus the other ones are 3. And then yeah, just bent it up, and now I've got a support so it's not leaning forward. And then I also added this support as well today. This is a stainless steel piece of 3/8 threaded rod that goes all the way through. I opened up the bottom holes there, so I have a second support along with the stock bolts that they send. I added then I sleeved it with 1/2 inch steel, just round rod, which is open, and yeah, just cut it to size. It's about 21.5 inches. And then so now that this is super strong and super supported, I'm probably going to remove these and do the same thing up here to have 2 really strong supports in the back. And then I'll probably do a rod across this bracket here. So that is my mini split bracing update for you guys. if you are thinking about adding one of these. This is the AC/heater. So, you know, we got this up here over the weekend, and I'm just trying to kind of finish it up. We'll end up painting this to color match, probably paint the steel brace there so it doesn't rust as well. So yeah, I'm also going to be adding a brace, another brace on the back side, which will allow it not to tip backwards. This brace allows it not to go forward. So I'm going to run another steel brace on the back that'll use the same bolt. So just a couple ideas for you guys that are thinking about, you know, getting into the mini split build. This is where we're at. All right, guys, so want to take you through another update to the bracing on the mini split. As I said earlier, I was making the Z bracket. So this is how the Z bracket ended up coming out. Pretty simple. Like I said, just bend it in the vise, and 3/8 inch hole on one side to accommodate the bolts that I already have up there. And on the other side, it will be 1/4 inch, which is going to go through the grate of the mini split. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you guys up there. I'm gonna get the bracket in place, and I'm gonna show you the purpose of the Z bracket that I'm making, addition to the already, this way, brace that I have put on there, and the purpose what this thing will do. All right, so here we are with the Z bracket installed. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around and show you guys now that it's installed and in place. Now, mind you, I still have some painter's tape on the actual steel of the bracing here, because I am gonna take it all down, primer, paint it, hopefully maybe find something to color match this, or just use white. Not really a big deal. But I want it to protect from the elements, because we are in Illinois, so you know, we get all 4 seasons here, so rust can be an issue here in the Rust Belt. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that once we get it down. But let me flip this and I'll show you how I installed the Z bracket. All right, so here is the Z bracket. You can see that I have it double nutted here. It's not all the way tight, it's just finger tight at the moment, because like I said, I'm gonna be taking down the paint. So the bracket goes from this main bracket, which is holding the entire unit in through the bus, and then the Z bracket is made this way, and it goes behind the actual unit itself with a 1/4-20 stainless steel bolt in holding it from this side. Again, that's going to allow the bus or the mini split itself to not move backwards and strike the bus in case we hit a major pothole. And then this bracket itself is going to keep the unit from falling forward or anything like that. And then again, our bracing down here is to support these 2 pieces together. And I will actually be adding a second one here as well. So I've been doing some fine detail work on it. I have now painted it and to match the bracket, because for me, details are everything. So I have the grate off again, and I'm reinstalling this along with that Z bracket. So here is the final version. I've got the grate back on the mini split. We've got it all painted to match. So I just wanted to take you back up, kind of show you around a little bit on how it came out. We also added a second brace. So we've got one across here and one across the middle. We've got those all painted. Go ahead and stand on this stool here and take you guys up and kind of show you how the brace was attached again. I know I've got it in the early part before it was all painted and finished, but this is what it looks like all done now. You can see that we used 5/16 bolts, stainless steel, swapped those out. So those come from the bottom side, and the bracket comes with this cushion. So we've got those in the front and the back. You can see the stainless steel rod goes all the way through and across and wraps around to this side and attaches to the bolt up there. Now you can see the color is just a little bit off, but it matches the unit pretty closely and we're pretty happy with it. Try to get you a view here from the top side of the Z bracket, what it came out looking like. So that's all painted and everything is good. Everything kind of matches. Here's a little closer up of kind of why I used the nylon spacers behind the bracket on the top and the bottom, because of this specific knockout, which we had been talking about earlier in some of the series of the mini split. And that's what it looks like from the bottom side. So hopefully this will help some of you guys increase maybe your confidence level on hanging it off of the back of your Skoolie. Now, the one final thing I would like to show you guys is the paint that we used to complete and kind of finish off the bracket. We used this heirloom white satin from Rust-Oleum, just something we picked up at the local Home Depot, and we have found that this is a pretty close match. So if you want to make it look clean and match, this is what I would suggest that you use.